If your jaw has clenched again tonight, please let me begin there. Yeah, just around the jaw, the lower face, and moving up slightly. We're not going to force it open. We're going to help it stop returning to that tight position. Yeah, we don't want it to do that again and again. Just across the jaw. Your jaw does not need to keep working tonight. No. Hello, my lovely. Just let me stay close while that effort begins to quieten. Just around and each side of the jaw. You may have noticed it more than once tonight. Your thought, your jaw become uncomfortable, and then a few moments later, there it was again. The teeth pressing together, the lower face becoming busy, a little effort returning without you asking for it. So I am not going to ask you to keep checking. No. I am not going to ask you to keep correcting it. No. For the next little while, I can do the noticing for you. Yeah. It's all here, so tight. You can listen. You can watch my hands if you would like to, or you can close your eyes and allow the jaw to be imperfect. It doesn't need to become completely loose in one movement. It only needs to do a little less, a little less, a little less. A little less pressing, a little less preparing, a little less work. I will do the checking for you. There we go. Just checking on this side of your face while the other remains still. So I'm going to begin on this side of the face, very slowly, not pulling, not pushing, just noticing the space around the jaw. And while I do that, you not need to ask yourself, am I clenching? You do not need to test the teeth. You do not need to move the mouth around to see whether it has worked. I will notice for you. You can stop supervising the jaw. It has had enough supervision for one day. Let's move to the other side now. This side, a little movement, and then stillness. A little movement, then nothing at all. Hold still. Your jaw is allowed to find its own ordinary position, not a perfect position, not a special position, just somewhere that requires less effort. Less effort and not perfect relaxation. Just there. Sometimes trying very hard to relax, it becomes another kind of work. The mind says, is it loose enough? Have I done it properly? Why is it tightening again? And the jaw receives another job, another instruction, another thing to get right. So, just going down. Tonight, we are taking away the job. There's no test. There's no perfect amount of space required. There is no prize for the most relaxed jaw. It can be ordinary. It can move, and it can become a little tense for a moment, and then it becomes quieter again. Nothing has gone wrong if it changes. Let the lower face be unremarkable. Let it become something you no longer need to watch. Now, space around the teeth. Let's separate apart the jaw. I'm creating a little more room around the outside now. Not touching, just making space around the idea of the jaw. a little room beneath the cheeks, a little room around the mouth. You may have noticed that the teeth are no longer pressing quite as firmly, or you may notice nothing at all. Both are fine. You do not need to search for a sensation. The jaw can find its own small distance. The tongue, it can rest where it naturally rests, and the lips can be still or slightly apart. Nothing needs arranging. Just less effort, and that's enough. Lower face, it's becoming quieter. All the way down, a few more ears to the jawline. From here down, very slowly, all the way down, from the ears, the cheeks do not need to stay alert, the mouth does not need to prepare another answer. The jaw does not need to be ready for another conversation. There's nobody waiting for you to explain anything here. Nothing else needs to be said. Tonight. The mouth can become quiet, and the muscles around can become less busy, quiet beside the ears, and quiet through the cheeks, and quiet around the mouth and beneath the jaw. No instruction now, only quiet. Shh. Only quiet. I have some fabric here. I would like to test the fabric across your jaw. It's soft. I'm going to move it closer to the one side. Right by the ear and along this space beside the jaw. You do not need to follow it. You can simply hear the movement passing by. beside the jaw, and then away. Should we do that again? Near the ear, along the cheek, down beside the jaw, and away. Sound does not need an answer. The jaw does not need to react. It can remain ordinary while the sound passes. Now, again, slowly, the same part, near the ear, beside the cheek, and along the slower face, and then away. There's nothing to anticipate, nothing approaching that requires you to brace. Only one soft sound, and then space. Another soft spot, and then space. The jaw can stop preparing now. It can stop meeting every sensation with effort. It can allow the sound to arrive and leave. Leave without doing anything. One side, the right side, the left side, the right side, and the left side, and the right side, and the left side. Just listen. A little sound. And now, no sound. This quiet space is part of the session too. Your jaw does not need constant help. It does not need to be worked on every second. Sometimes the kindest thing is to stop interfering. So we move, and then we leave it alone. We notice, and then we stop checking. We create room, and then allow the body to choose what happens next. The mouth has finished speaking. your mouth has done enough for today. It may have answered questions. It may have explained things. It may have held back words, found the right tone, smile when it's tired, and stayed polite, stayed ready. But none of that is required now. There is no conversation and waiting in this room. No response to prepare. No expression to hold in place. The lips, they can become still, and the cheeks can stop, preventing the face to a world, and the jaw can stop preparing next sentence. You are not being watched here. You can allow your face to become quiet. The tongue and the lower face. Just there. Without changing anything deliberately, you might simply notice the tongue. Not to move it, and not to place it correctly, only to remember that it does not need to work either. The tongue can be heavy. The mouth can be quiet. The lower face can become less organized. You do not need to hold a particular expression. Less effort around the lips, less effort beneath the cheeks, and less effort where the jaw meets the ears. And if the teeth meet again for a moment, that doesn't mean we begin from the beginning again. The body is allowed to change its mind. It is allowed to tighten a little and then do less again. We need to be on duty. Duty. I have this small, smooth crystal here tonight. It can represent the final task of the day being put down. nothing else for the jaw to prepare for. Nothing else for the mouth to answer. Nothing else for the lower face to manage. Placing this down. That is the end of the shift. Your jaw has finished its work for tonight. It doesn't need to keep watch. Doesn't need to remain ready. It can come off duty now. Because you are finished for tonight. You are finished for tonight. Finished with speaking. Finished with answering. And finished with bracing for the next thing. Finished with holding the face in place. There may still be small traces of effort. That is alright. Finishing work doesn't always mean everything becomes silent immediately. Sometimes the body takes a little while to realise that the shift is over. Shift is over. So we are not demanding silence. We're simply making it clear. There is no more work. Whispering back. No more work for the jaw. No more checking for you. No more correction. Only this gradual understanding that tonight is finished. Tonight is finished. Tonight is finished. Keeping the voice low and unhurried. I am going to stay close to this side for a while. You do not need to turn towards me. Shh. Soft movement, gentle sound. Shh. Just a quiet movement. Just beside the jaw. A small movement. And then stillness. A small movement. And then stillness. Shh. Nothing is being pulled away. Nothing is being removed. I'm helping this side to remember. Doesn't need to keep working. Doesn't need to keep working. It's off duty. Quiet now. Finished for moving to the other side for you. On this side too. No need to compare one side with the other. One side may feel different, and that's normal. A little movement just beside the ear, little space around the cheek, a little less work beneath the jaw. You are not required to make both sides match. The face is not a machine that needs adjusting. It can simply become quieter, quieter, quieter in its own way. This side has finished. Nothing else to repair. Nothing else to hold. Both sides now. Not pressing, not touching, only keeping gentle, 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 gentle company around the jaw. A little room. A little stillness, a little less pressure, a little less attention required. You can forget about the jaw moment. You do not need to follow every movement. My hands can continue even while your attention begins to drift, to drift, to drift, to drift. Permission to stop following. You do not need to remain awake to receive this part. You do not need to listen to every word. The session does not depend on your concentration. Your jaw does not need an audience. It can become quiet without being observed. It can change position without being corrected. It can do whatever small movements it needs and then become still again. Still again. No school, no test, no need to know whether it is working. The less you monitor it, the less work there is to do. If it clenches again, and if you notice it clench again, do not make that a problem. We do not become frustrated, and we do not say, here we go again. We simply notice that the jaw became busy for a moment, and then we stop giving it another instruction. It can find its way back without force. Even if it tightens for a moment, you do not need to begin again. You have not lost the calm. You have not failed the session. The jaw is allowed to move in and out of effort while you continue towards sleep. There's no beginning again. No beginning again. No resetting the whole body. No checking every few seconds. The session continues. The night continues. Sleep can continue approaching, even if the jaw is not perfectly still. Perhaps that's what is needed most. Not another instruction. Not another demand to relax. Only permission you need is to let it drift. The jaw can become the background. The mouth can become the background. The whole face doesn't require attention. One small sound, and then it's quiet. Nothing to prepare for. The jaw does not need to meet the sound. The sound can simply exist and disappear. That final noise in the house, becoming still. One thing finished, then another, and then nothing asking for your attention. Shh. 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 Your face can become quiet now, not blank, not frozen, just unwatched. No one is reading your expression. No one is waiting for you to look pleased. No one needs reassurance from your face. You do not need to appear calm. You do not need to perform sleep. The cheeks can be heavy. The mouth can be still. And the jaw can rest wherever it's found itself. Unwatched, unmeasured, unimportant for now. No more preparing. No more work. Quiet beside the ears. Quiet through the cheeks. Quiet beneath the jaw. And the jaw is no longer the center. The jaw does not need to remain in the center of your attention. We've stayed with it. We have noticed it. We have given it room, and now we can allow it to become ordinary again. Something in the background, something the body can manage without your supervision. You can let your attention become wider, not scanning the whole body, just no longer fixed in one place, that you can be there without needing to be sold. Do not check. In a moment, you may feel tempted to check, to press the teeth together slightly, to test whether the jaw is loose, to ask whether it has worked. You don't need to do that. Let the question pass without answering it. You do not need to know. You can sleep without knowing exactly what the jaw is doing. I've done all the checking. The session has held the space around it. Your part is finished. The final check is cancelled. There is often one last check before sleep. One last thought. One last thought that says, is everything alright now? But tonight, that check is cancelled. No final inspection. No final correction. No need to confirm that the jaw is resting correctly. The night does not require a report. Sleep does not require proof that the jaw can be quiet or almost quiet or finding its way there. All of these are enough. That's fine. You can drift away from the meaning. Drift away from the jaw. Drift away from the need to manage anything. My hands will move slowly. The room will remain quiet. and you can stop following. Finished for tonight. No more work. No more checking. No more preparing. The mouse is quiet. The jaw is ordinary. The night can continue without your help. Sleep descend. You can allow the screen to become less clear. You do not need to keep your eyes focused. You do not need to wait for another instruction. There is nothing more to complete. Nothing more to practice. Nothing more to understand. The jaw has finished. The face has finished. And the day is finished speaking through you. Rest can happen without being watched. Before I become very quiet, I want you to know that you did not need to do this perfectly. You did not need to force anything. You did not need to make the jaw obey. You only needed somewhere to stop trying for a while. And you have that here. A quiet room, a gentle voice, hands moving slowly. Nothing being demanded from your face. Shh. No more work. No more work, my lovely. Leave a purple heart. If your body felt a little softer by the end, and if it helped you, maybe share with a friend and subscribe and get them to subscribe too. You don't need to check your jaw again before sleep. it is finished for tonight. Good night. Night, my lovely.